he's noticeable. I want to say he was with. Was it with what's that little guy that plays for Vancouver?
Bluger and Garland. It was their line.
Garland.
Joshua,
Garland.
Bluger, and Garland at that third line in Vancouver 2 years ago was one of the best in the league.
Really
like third
good.
lines wise.
100%. Really good. So do you put him up beside, is it maybe Lott or beside Nick Waugh, and try to get that going again, right? And just the other day we were talking about the third line or the bottom six for the Leafs. I think this adds something there. I think he can score, he can hit, he can be a lot of things. Now, what is his cap? Isn't it like $3 or $4 million?
It's in the high threes. Yeah. It's just under 4.
So which player are you getting? Was it the player 2 years ago or last year? Last year, as you mentioned, I think he actually had testicular cancer.
He did, right?
And the treatment really, and that would have thrown his, just all that, emotionally, not to mention physically, what that does. I don't think he ever got on track, but coming home and be energized. I like this kind of, for a 4th round pick, that's not much to give for a guy that I think could bring that to this middle of the lineup, maybe of what they need.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I can't quite figure it out from Vancouver's standpoint. Like again, he had a down year last year. They had a down year collectively. Maybe it's a cap dump. I would guess they have something else cooking. Maybe they're in on someone else, or they have a couple of other things coming, and they had to unleash somebody. But for a 4th rounder in 2028. Again, I guess a little bit surprised another team wouldn't step in and offer that and possibly bring him in. Again, because he's 6'3", he's 29 years old. He's Nick Waugh's 6'3" and shoots right. Joshua's 6'3" and shoots left. Can play center. It is going to be interesting. Like, these are clearly bottom 6 players. This is not a guy who's going to play on the wing with Tavares or Matthews or whatever. Up front, it's going to be Matthews and Knies, Tavares and Nylander, and they're going to figure out who else is going to play with them.
Michelli's got to be up there.
Michelli will be one of them. Maybe it's Max Domi is another one. They're going to work that out. But I think in the bottom 6, you mentioned Lawton. Joshua, Lawton, Waugh, like you've got 3 veteran guys who I think can play center. They can play the wing if need be. I think this is a precursor to David Kampf clearly not being a part of the team in the future. I don't think that would surprise anybody. He didn't play in the playoffs, but they're going to have to find a way to unload that.
Calle Yarncroke.
Yeah, is Yarncroke going to be a part of this?
Dakota Joshua fills more of a role, like a clearly defined role that makes your team harder to play against than Calle Yarncroke. Yarncroke's like he's a versatile guy.
Do you think he'll play center, Frank, or do you think he'll play up? Like, could you see a scenario where it's Matthews, Tavares, Waugh, Joshua? Like, that's your 1, 2, 3, 4 up the middle.
Could be. Yeah, like it could give you flexibility. Like you could go Lawton, you could go Joshua. I think when he was playing his best in Vancouver, Bluger was the center. And it was Garland, Bluger, and Joshua. So in my mind, I see him coming into the fold as a winger, but at least you have a little bit of flex that way.
And it gives them a bit more chance to get more minutes, too. When you're playing 4th line center, not getting as many as a 3rd line left winger. Obviously, I'm talking 5-on-5. I don't know if he fits it. Well, obviously, probably not power play. Maybe some penalty kill. But I see him as a big, heavy winger. When you're playing against Florida, he can go out there and he can get to those D. He can make it happen. Like 2 years ago, he was a really impact player for the Canucks. Again, last year, not there. But I think this is a sneaky pickup if he can get back to that level.
Yeah, it's an interesting move. The Leafs acquiring Dakota Joshua from Vancouver for a 4th round pick in 2028. Now, again, part of that could be because he does have some term and some money that the Leafs, because Vancouver's not retaining any money that we're aware of as of right now. Maybe that's basically what this is. It's a salary dump, effectively, which that could be what Calle Yarncroke turns into, who is still a good player in the league that can't play. David Kampf can play. Like there's going to be a market for him to play somewhere in the league. There's 32 teams. Can he be on the 4th line in San Jose? Yeah, I would think he probably can, or go back to Chicago or something like that. But if Joshua's getting the 4th, that's what you would expect at best. If you're going to move up those 2 guys, you're not going to get anything.
Well, and now, Hayes, think about Toronto's lineup, okay? So you're going to have, let's say you have Knies on your top line. You can have some combination now of, Bobby McMahon, Dakota Joshua, Nicholas Waugh, Scott Lawton. And, those are the guys that are more, I guess, prominent. But you have bigger framed guys
Steven
now.
Lorentz is back.
Yeah,
Big
exactly.
boy.
Stevie Lorentz. Like, you got bigger framed guys who are willing to play more of a robust kind of game scattered throughout the lineup now, where it feels like in the past it was like, yeah, we got our one guy or we got our two guys. Now it's everywhere now. It's on every single line if you want it to be.
I love that. He can do it. That guy will be physical out of 12 forwards. Like, it doesn't work like that. And you see it with Florida. It's player after player coming in. And being physical doesn't mean blowing guys up. Being physical can also be, driving the net hard or taking a puck wide or winning a puck battle against someone else. Like, that is also being physical. I think sometimes as fans and media, we interpret being physical as just blowing guys up. It's not. It's winning physical confrontations, battles. And those players you just outlined, they can do it. Like, I think Dakota John, he can have a return to where he was before. I think that Lawton is better than we saw him play for, I don't know how many games did he play there, 20 games, guys, whatever it was. Like, if he can take a step up, now you're getting two guys kind of that are better than they've shown last year.
Yeah, and then you got like Easton Cowan in the fold. Does he fit in this year? Are they intending on him making the team, playing for the team? I'm not sure. But that's an added element as well as an option, because he would start his career, I think, for sure in the bottom six. All right, so more on this as we move forward. Dakota Joshua traded to the Maple Leafs in exchange for a fourth-round pick in 2028, and this will take up some of the Leafs cap. I mean, you mentioned just under 4. I think they had, $5.5 million left. That's with Yarncroke on the team, Kampf on the team. I think they can still move some money around. But it makes you wonder, like, what else is in store? What else could they pull off? What else can they add if they keep bringing in guys like Joshua and Michelli and Waugh who are owed money? And yes, Marner's out, but they're filling up that money. So what kind of flexibility do the Leafs still have moving forward to try and add to this team? So we'll get to that and more still to come. We'll head overseas, catch up with Lawrence Applebaum live from Royal Port Rush as we track day one of the Open Championship. Overdrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 2.